Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to begin with the line-to-line explanation of the poem An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. The very first stanza reads, "Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn around their pallor, the tall girl with her weighed down head, the paper-seeming boy with rat's eye." Now in this poem, the first line says far, far. This is repetition. Repetition, that is far, far. Gusty waves are strong winds which possess a lot of energy, right? Whereas now here the poet says these children's faces. Who are these children? These children are the children who live in the slum areas. When they go to the school, what is the atmosphere they have, or he's trying to describe the children who are going to the elementary school classroom in a slum. These children's faces which should possess a lot of energy, whereas they are far away from this energy which a child should possess, right? So here far, far is repetition, gusty waves is strong winds which possess a lot of energy, and these children means the children living in the slum area, they are far away from this kind of energy which the children possess, right? So why they don't have this much of energy in them the reason is that they are undernourished, or you can say malnourished. They are tired, they live below the poverty line, they do not have the basic facilities in their life, hence they lack what? That is, they lack energy. Like rootless weeds. Now here again a simile, right? Like, the comparison of the faces of the children is just like rootless weeds. What are weeds? Weeds are unwanted plants which grow, right? So what is done to those unwanted grass or the plants? It is thrown away, right? So just like that, the poet has said that these children in the society are treated like rootless weeds which are unwanted plants, right? The same way, and this use of like here, the poetic device which has been used is with the like, that is similarity, or you can say similarity created between the children's faces or the children, just like weeds. That is why this is simile here, right? The hair torn around their pallor. The hair of these children is unkempt, not kept neat and tidy, right? They are withered on their pallor. Pallor is a pale face. Why do they have a pale face? Again, because of malnourishment, right? Undernourished. They do not have flesh, right? Pallor is pale face. The tall girl with her weighed down head. There is a girl. Now he is describing a girl who is sitting in the an elementary school classroom in a slum. A girl with her weighed down head. Why she has weighed down her head is because she is physically and mentally, you can say emotionally, she is tired, right? And maybe she is into deep thoughts of her life which she is living. That is why she has weighed down her head. That is a tall girl, she has weighed down her head. The other child who the poet has described here, or about whom he has told, is the paper-seeming boy with rat's eye. Now here again a comparison, right? Paper-seeming boy. The boy is just, it seems just like a paper, thin, lean, right? The boy does not possess flesh at all. very thin, very lean, right? With rat's eye, right? His eyes are just like the eyes of the rat. Like eyes of the rat is always in search of food, right? So the same way here the poet has said, this boy, paper seeming boy who's very thin, his eyes are also into search of something or the other, right? So this is the first stanza. Further, which children are referred to here? The very first question which arises from these 4 lines is, which children are referred to here? These children's faces, these children are the children living in the slum area, right? Explain rootless weeds with literary device. I have already told you what are rootless weeds. Weeds are unwanted grass, right? Unwanted plants. The same way these children are compared, or the similarity has been created between the children who live in the slum areas are just like weeds. Weeds are unwanted plants and these children are unwanted to the society. Literary device, I have already told you, the use of like and the similarity which was created shows that there is simile in this line, right? Simile. Further it says, what is the comparison drawn with the rat's eye? Now here the comparison with the rat's eye is that the child's eyes are just the same way as the rat's eye is always in search of food, right? So the same way the paper seeming boy who's thin and lean is always in search of something or the other, right? So this is the explanation to the first stanza of the poem, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. Lines. The stunted, unlucky air of twisted bones reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lessons from his desk. At the back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in the tree room other than this. Now in the previous lines we had read, there is a girl who has weighed down her head. The second child who has been described is the boy who is a paper seeming boy. Now here another one is unlucky heir. Heir is the successor, right? Successor of the parents' property, you can say. But these children are said to be unlucky. Why? Because they have got the birth in the family where they are given in the property or the wealth in place of those things, the luxurious things which the other children possess. They are given what? They are given twisted bones, right? What do they possess? They possess gnarled diseases of their parents. So they recite, they show. Recite means they are showing, the child is showing his father's gnarled diseases which they have inherited from their parents, right? So what do they get in life from their parents is poverty, diseases, and that is why they are considered to be unlucky heir, right? Unlucky successors. His lessons from his desk. Now this boy who is unlucky heir, he recites not only his father's gnarled disease, the twisted bones, even he repeats his lessons from his desk. Both the things he is reciting. One meaning of reciting here is showing, right? Depicting his father's diseases in him. At the back of the dim class, one unnoted sweet young. Now there is another boy who is sweet, who is young, and he is unnoted, right? Not noticed by others. At the back of the dim class. Now dim class, again this shows the things which the classroom should possess. The facilities which a classroom should possess, they do not have. The class is dim, no proper light. He is unnoticed his eyes live in a dream. Now this child who is sweet, who is young, who is unnoted, he does not get bothered about the atmosphere of the class. He lives in his own world. He has got dreams in his mind. He is not shaken by the poverty, or he is not taken by the poverty. He is not into the thoughts of like the other children are, right? So here he is living with a dream. He has got lot of dreams in his eyes. And what does he see? He sees the squirrel's game, or you can say a game of a squirrel in the tree room. Other than this means other than the other children, he is lost in his own world. He is not taken away by the atmosphere of the classroom, or he is not taken away by the things which are bothering the other children, or they do not grab his attention, and he is in his own world, right? So from the beginning we can say, far from the gusty ways, as the repetition has been done. Repetition is done to lay stress on something. Far is repetition. Further, we had done away with the gusty waves, that is strong energetic winds, you can say. These children's faces are just like rootless weeds which are not accepted in society. Further, we had done away with unkempt hair of these children, which are on their pallor. Pallor is a pale face, because they are undernourished, or you can say malnourished. Further, we have done away with the tall girl who has weighed down her head because of shame, or she is physically or emotionally tired, and that is why she is lost. Next we had done is a paper seeming boy, where you can say it was a paper seeming boy, the boy who is not got flesh in his body, he is just thin and lean. Further, we have done another child who is unlucky here. What he has inherited from his parents is diseases. He has inherited from his father is gnarled disease and twisted bones. He is reciting, he is showing his disease of his parents, which he has got as a successor, and he is even reciting the lessons from his desk. Another child who has been told about the class is the sweet young boy. He is not taken away by the atmosphere, dull atmosphere of the classroom. He is lost in his own world, and he lives in a dream. And further, he is also involved in the squirrel's game in a tree room, right? Not like the other children who are taken away by these problems or the situations. This boy is in his own world. Which boy? That is the sweet young boy. Now let us see the question and answers here. Who is the unlucky heir? The unlucky heir is the children who are living below the poverty line, who have taken birth in the family where they live in the slum areas. Why is he called unlucky? Why? Because he does not, what he has inherited from his parents, he has inherited not wealth, right? He has not inherited wealth, he has not inherited property. He has inherited what? He has inherited disease. He has inherited twisted bones. That is why he is considered to be unlucky successor. Who sits at the back unnoted, and why? This unnoted boy, sweet and young, sits at the back of the dim class. And why is he sitting at the back of the dim class? Maybe he is sitting aloof, right? He is away from all these children who are dull because of the conditions or the atmosphere they are living in. Pick two images, each of despair and disease from the lines, right? When you talk about despair, despair is further you can say twisted bones. Twisted bones are diseases. Gnarled disease, right? Dim class you can say is the image of despair. Unlucky heir, despair, right? Unlucky heir is despair. Whereas when you talk about diseases, gnarled disease and twisted bones, they show that they are diseases, right? So this was the explanation to the first stanza. As I have already given you the summary in the previous video, of the first stanza. Now it was line to line explanation of the first stanza and discussing the important question and answers from these lines, or the extract you can say we have done. Even the poetic device which has been used in the poem we have done in this first stanza. Thank you.